Hi everybody, welcome to my latest video. I'm just hiding at the side of the house because there's been some changes to the front and I don't want to spoil the surprise by showing you that too soon. But this video is actually mostly focused inside the house in the shower corner. I've put a massive push forward on the shower and I love it. I'm really proud of it. And watch to the end and you can see what I've done. Before I get into the video though, I just wanted to remind you that liking the videos really does help the channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. And if you know anybody out there who might like my stuff, share it around. It really helps me out. So enough of that, let's get right into the video and I'll see you again at the end. Good morning folks from another very gloomy day in Portugal. It's about 8:30 in the morning, so I'm not expecting the sun to come out just yet. So as you can see, there's a lot of cloud cover. The solar is clicking on and off, and therefore I don't have any lights in the house. But I do have a solution for power. I have two of these batteries. One is down at Sinead's mega system. She's got a super powerful solar system. So it's charging down there. So I'm gonna go down and get that. But before I do, I have made a terrible, terrible mistake. I left these things out in the rain, just thinking they were kind of invincible, and apparently when you do that, the squares come unstuck to the actual thing. So these are all over the place, and that's unfortunate because I was thinking I would just chop them in double lines and get them on the shower really easily. However, now they're all single pieces. But I do have one more bucket of them, and I'm hoping I can scrounge enough tiles to actually make this work in the shower. But before I do anything, I need to have some power in my house. So I'm going to take this down to Sinead's the fast way. Okay, the battery's here. This thing should last me about 24 hours, powering my computer and my fridge, which are the two most important things. But it doesn't hook up to the lights. So I guess I'm going to bring the battery in, set it up, grab a coffee, sit in the dark and work on my computer and contemplate what to do for the day, because if the lights don't come back on, if the sun doesn't come back out, I'm not going to be working on the shower in the dark. So I could end up, first of all, pruning Tracy Trumpet is one job, and then also clearing up the piles of olive on my land in a burn pile. So let's see how the weather shapes up, and that's going to determine what I do. But first, time to make a coffee in the darkness. Okay, the lights are back on, but I do not trust them. And that's because it's still very gloomy out here. So I don't want to get into work on the shower because if the lights go off partway through plastering that thing, I'm pretty screwed. The work is quite finicky, and as with many things, having light when you do your work is quite important. But another thing that's important is testing. So I've got this idea to stick these tiles onto my shower, but I don't know if I should use lime to do it. But one way to find out is to do a little test. So I'm going to make a little patch of lime inside under the bathroom counter, fasten some tiles on, and then I'll check it again tomorrow to see how it works. So I've got 4 tiles, I've got a little bucket of lime. Let's make a test patch. So this will obviously be a lot easier if I can find enough tiles that are still stuck to the sheets. Otherwise I'm going to have to use spacers and it's just going to be a nightmare. Or maybe if I can't find enough tiles, I just have to do something where I make a mosaic, or I'm not sure really. So yeah, it's kind of not really the way lime is meant to be used. So what I might also try is just putting some lime over top of the tiles, kind of like the same way you would do grout, and then see if I can clean it off afterwards, because I think pointing in between the tiles is going to be a complete nightmare. So the best strategy could be to push them on and then clean them off after. But anyway, this gives me a little test area to see what's going on, and I can figure things out later. So I have a bucket of tiles sitting inside that I need to go through, and I'm really hoping I can find enough strips of 2 to span the entire shower. But before I check that out, I just wanted you guys to see how the shower looks by the light of day, by the light of a light bulb, because when I showed you in the last video, it was with a flashlight in the dark, and I don't know if you could really see what it looked like. So I'm really pleased with this. It hasn't cracked at all, which I'm kind of surprised about because, I don't know, I sort of know what I'm doing, but I'm also just trying to figure things out as I go. So I guess I nailed the mix, but I think another important thing is making sure that you keep it damp as it dries. So, I'm very pleased. I'm looking forward to getting back to work on it, but because I don't trust the power situation, this will be a project for tomorrow. So it's a bit chilly today. I've got the fire ready to go. And, oh, there we go. So let's fire that up, and I will search for some tiles in the coziness of a warm room. Okay, just crazy enough to work? I don't know. This one is sort of detaching. Maybe it's not the best one to use, but I guess the idea is that the tiles sit in like this and get stuck on, hopefully with lime. So I'm gonna have to wait to see the results of my lime sticky-on-y test to see if this is gonna work or not. So far, it seems pretty good. I can't think of any reasons why this might not work. I mean, it's just gonna harden and hold them in place. And I'm not worried about the waterproofness of it because it's probably not gonna be splashed with water way up there. So, I don't know, I'll check it tomorrow, and fingers crossed it all goes okay. And since the weather currently looks like this, which is utter and total doo-doo, I'm gonna retreat back inside. I did register a burn pile, but that's not gonna be happening today. So instead, I'll sit by the fire, do some editing, prepare for tomorrow, and yeah, just stay dry. But before I do, I just wanted to draw your attention to my little drying area. So these guys are the poblano peppers that I grew. So they stayed on the vine until they were red, and now I'm drying them. And I think when they're dried, they become ancho chilies. And then you can dry it, grind it up into a powder, and you have ancho powder, which is great for Mexican cooking. So I've actually had these up here for about 3 weeks, and they're still looking pretty juicy, despite their wrinkliness. So I don't know how long they're gonna take to dry, but I'm determined to make this work because I cook a lot of Mexican food, and it's an ingredient I would love to have in my pantry. I'm also drying some sage from just in front of my house, and I've got some basil drying still as well. So this is my plan for the day, sitting on by the fire, doing some computer work, and preparing for work tomorrow. The fire is still raging, and it's actually the same day as when I left you a moment ago, and I've enjoyed being cozy inside the house, but the rain has stopped for the moment, so I feel like it's a great opportunity to get outside and try to address a job that seems to be a lot more pressing than I was realizing, and that's the health of Tracy Trumpet, who seems to be completely collapsing under the weight of all of these gorgeous flowers. So I'm gonna try to give her a pretty hard prune, and in the process, I'm hoping I can also save some for friends, put them in pots, and see if I can grow some little Tracy Juniors. folks, the rain is coming down a little harder than it was before, but I'm determined to get this done because otherwise it's been sort of a waste of a day. So I've got this composty, soily stuff here that I took off of the wall over there, and I feel like if I fill up some pots, I can make, hopefully, 5 more little baby Tracy's and make some friends happy, because a lot of people are always mentioning how wonderful she is, and it would be nice to have her multiply. So the rain's coming down a lot harder now. I might actually have to abandon this mission, but I'm determined to get one baby Tracy into a pot before I flee for the dry house. Okay, that'll do. So the pot is full, one lonely pot. Tracy needs attention, but as you can see, it's really chucking it down out here, and I don't want to be dealing with this in the wet weather. So I'm aborting the mission. I'm canceling the Tracy project, and hopefully she doesn't collapse by tomorrow because there's a lot of flowers on there. So Tracy, hang in there. I'm gonna rescue you tomorrow, weather willing. But in the meantime, I'm going back inside and I'm gonna return to my fire, and I'm gonna say farewell to this gloomy, rainy, miserable day. What do you think about this day? He's soaked. He's come in to sit by the fire as well. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm definitely not going back out there. This is where I'm at this morning, guys. The situation is dire. The lights are off. I do have almost 100% left on the smaller battery of the 2 that I have. I've got the larger one over there that's run out of power, but I'm gonna charge it later at a friend's place. And I do have just a little bit of power left in the actual solar system to flip the lights on a little bit later when I'm ready to go back to work on the shower. So I'll check the tile experiment, and hopefully I can get going on that. So I'm gonna just sit in the darkness, work on my computer, have a coffee, and then pretty soon I'll flip the lights back on and get back to work on the shower. Okay, I've had some coffee. The day has brightened up. The lights are back on, and it's time to finally get back into the shower and get back to work. So this is very finicky work. The trick, I think, is trying to get an even layer of the lime underneath so that the tiles don't want to undulate too much. So I'm gonna keep pushing on. I've still got a lot of stuff to get done, and it's gonna take a while. But this is where I'm at so far, and I think it looks pretty good. And I'll check in again soon when I have a little bit more done. So this actually isn't taking as long as I thought it would, and it's turning out much better than I thought it would as well. The grouting will be the true test, but I figure if I can wipe the tiles off as I go, prevent the lime from crusting on too much, that'll save me some problems later on. So I've done the whole way around, except for one final little piece over there. So let's stick that on together. So I'm really unsure about what to do with this end bit. I'll probably just try to lime around the outside of the tiles. It's really perfect how the spacing worked out, so that's amazing. And then I would like to make the top flatter, but I'll figure out how to do that once I actually start plastering the rest of the shower. So things are looking really good. I'm quite happy with this. And I guess now I just need to figure out how to grout it. Just look at that beautiful sunshine out there. It's a shame to be stuck inside the shower when the sun is finally shining after days. But that's okay because I've got work to do in here and I'm determined to get the tiles on today. So whenever I do something for the first time, I do like to do a little proof of concept off camera to see if it's actually going to work. So I've attempted to grout, well, I don't know if it's grouting really. I've attempted to squash lime in between the tiles. Using kind of a combination of the trowel and a paintbrush. And the idea is that I come back afterwards and wipe it off. So I feel like this needs to dry just a little bit more before I can really go at it with the cloth. But it seems like it's sort of working. This part over here looks pretty good. The part that I did first. And it seems to be wiping off okay without destroying the lime in between the tiles. So I'm pretty happy with this so far and ready to keep pushing on with the work. So I often get very good tips from people in the comments section of my videos. And I just want to say a big thanks to everybody who does take the time to comment. And if you leave little tips and tricks and advice, it's always appreciated. And I do take some of it on board and try things out. And the paintbrush is something that somebody suggested in my last video, I believe. So I just wanted to say thanks. I'm sorry if I can't go back and figure out the names of the people who gave me this wonderful advice. Oftentimes I just kind of lose things within the comments, but I do take them on board. And I do want to say a thank you to whoever that person was, because this is going to really help me out, especially when I try to smooth things out in between the tiles. And for some reason, it hadn't really popped in my mind to try a paintbrush. It's also really kind of enjoyable. Paintbrushing lime, trying to get it smooth. So there is kind of a little ridge here, which is probably going to annoy me. And that's just because this top layer was dried when I finally got to do this, started to do this work. And so it's not really melding in as much as I would like it to. But I think it's okay. And I think with a bit of work, a little bit more paintbrushing, I'll be able to make it sort of smooth. But the main reason for the brush is to try to smooth out in between the spaces in the tiles. And I don't know if I need to let this dry a little bit. It does seem to want to kind of pull it out from the middle. So you've seen me put the lime in between the tiles. I've got a lot more of that to do the whole way around. And I'm just going to power on with that. I'm going to put this paintbrush away, even though it is quite addictive trying to smooth everything out. But I've got to stop. I've got lots of lime to get on the wall, so I'm going to put the camera away and check in again when I'm ready to hopefully wipe all this crap off and reveal a beautiful tiled shower. Okay, my lime grout-like substance is on, and I gotta say it looks, at this stage, pretty cool already. And I did discover that I think the sponge is a bit better for smoothing in this top part, just to try to squash it in with a bit more force. But the paintbrush will definitely come in handy when I start to smooth out the in-between bits. So it's been really fun. It's always nice to work on something and see results that you actually like. I feel like with some of the creative stuff, you know, it can go either way. Can end up thinking, yeah, I sort of like it, or can end up thinking that I love it, which I think is going to be the case with this. So I've got things kind of smoothed out, and I guess right now I just need to kind of try to rub the lime off the tiles, try to clean everything up, and then I'll go over the in-between bits with the paintbrush. I absolutely love this. I'm really enjoying the process. I love how it's turning out. And I've got a lot more to do on this side and also over here. So as with everything else so far, let's fast forward a little bit, put the camera away, and I'll see you very soon. Done, and I love it. I'm really happy with how this has gone. It's been a super enjoyable process. And it's turned out a lot better than I expected. Have a few more just to tidy off here. But overall, I think it looks pretty amazing. Which is a huge relief and quite surprising because I really did not know how this was going to work out. So the shower has been very satisfying to work on today, and I won't have enough time to start and finish the rest of it, so I'll leave that for tomorrow. But as you can see out the porthole window / cat door, the sun is shining, and so I'm going to head outside and finally give Tracy a prune. Wow, look at how gorgeous it is out here. The sky is beautiful, the temperature is mild. The sky is amazing. This is after probably about 5 or 6 days of solid doom and gloom and rain, but it's looking wonderful now. Which I can say about the sky, but I can't really say the same about poor Tracy Trumpet. She could definitely use some love and attention. She's sort of slumped over to one side under the weight of all the flowers. The flowers are looking kind of skanky and brown, and I feel like she will benefit from a haircut. So I'm going to be a bit drastic with this prune because I know how quickly she grows back, and this has gotten a little out of control, to say the least. And I'm going to try to save some of the cuttings to pass on to friends. So hopefully Tracy can multiply, go forth, and make other people happy as well. So Tracy is a Brugmansia, and they'll grow quite tall. You can sort of treat it like a tree if you have one central branch, and I think that's probably my intention. I'd love this plant to be as big and bushy and beautiful as possible, but I'd also like to keep it in the confines of the garden bed as well. So I'm doing a pretty hard prune, but I know she's gonna spring back to life without too many problems. Okay, so, you know, she's not looking quite as happy as she did before, but I think this is going to really help her continue to grow upward instead of outward. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to save some of the Tracy's for other people. So I'm just going to try to take some cuttings, and it basically said, find a piece, take the leaves off, and you can either stick it in water or in soil. So I have one pot of soil, but I don't really have enough soil to fill more pots at the moment, so I need to go into town and buy some. So I'm gonna stick some Tracy's in the bucket of water, and once I get some soil, I'll put them in pots. Let's do it the snappy way. Okay, I have 10-ish baby Tracy Trumpets in there, one in the soil, and I have the most beautiful wheelbarrow of garden scraps I've ever seen, which matches up very nicely with this incredibly beautiful evening. It's stunning. I can't believe how beautiful the sky looks right now. So while a week of rain straight can be really frustrating when it brings life to the land and beautiful skies like this, it's kind of worth it. So I'm going to enjoy this lovely evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, where we're going to go back to the shower and finally finish it off. Hello from a beautiful morning. It's amazing out here. It's mild. The neighbors are out picking olives, and it's a beautiful day to be outside. But I don't get to enjoy this beautiful sunny day today. I'm going to be stuck inside the shower finishing off the plastering, and I'm really excited to get back to it, and hopefully by the end of today, which is going to be a really long day, I'll have this thing done. I started the day sifting some more sand because I really don't want to run out of the mix partway through this job. It would be very annoying. So I sifted some sand, and then I mixed it up with some lime just to top up the mix that I already have. So I'm all ready to go, and this is gonna be a very full day of work, so let's go back inside and get started. Goodbye, sunshine. I'll see you tomorrow. For me, today is all about being in the corner, plastering the shower. There's a lot of work to do. I've got the plaster ready to go, and it's gonna take me a really long time. I think probably maybe 4 or 5 hours. It's gonna be pretty finicky and pretty tricky. And while I work, it's gonna give me some time to think about what to do about these taps. I need to put lime in the holes in such a way that I can still move them in and out, so that if I want to remove these taps in the future, I can. And I also need to figure out what to do about the top. So I have a few things to ponder over while I plaster. Pondering and plastering sounds like a fine morning, and this is gonna take me ages because it's a big surface to do, and I'm definitely not a pro plasterer. I'm still learning, and I also am incapable of putting plaster on thinly. I always lay it on really thick. So it's gonna be a lot of lime going on this shower wall, and it's gonna take ages. So I feel like I'll start with this curvy bit and work my way around to the right. As always, I wet everything down to begin with, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm a bit intimidated by the scale of this project, but let's just get started and see how long this takes. So I've been picking these little stones out along the way. There's not very many of them, but if I hadn't sifted the sand, there would be loads and it would really mess with the finish and make everything extremely difficult. So sifting sand for a final layer is definitely a must, at least for me. Anyway, this is gonna take ages. This is where I'm at right now. And you'll see me again when I'm partway done. Okay guys, this is where I'm at. It's been about an hour and a half of work. It's around 11:30, and I have grossly underestimated the amount of lime that I've needed, but I have mixed up another batch, so hopefully that'll see me through. I'm about to stop for lunch, but before I do, I thought I would come back to the first part that I did. It's probably dry enough to sponge, and so I wanted to just try that out on camera and show you guys how it takes away all the little trowel lines that I've made and makes everything more or less uniform, which is what I'm going for. So it seems like it's working okay. I'm going to continue sponging, then I'm going to have some lunch, and then I'll check in again when I've gone a little bit more around the shower, and I'm probably going to be ready to work around the taps, and I need to come up with some idea for getting the lime in those holes. So this is where I'm at. I'm happy with the progress. It's been a lot of fun, but quite time consuming, and I'll check in again very soon. Okay, here's where I'm at with the shower. I've sponged this side. I've pushed on with plastering this side. I need to deal with the taps, and I am chiming in to show you the shower progress, but what I really want to show you is this beautiful, beautiful day. It would be lovely to be outside, but at least I can walk out and get a breath of fresh air, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous evening. I think it's about actually maybe 4:30, so it's not really evening yet, but it's stunning out here. So I think I've been working on this for about 3 or 4 hours so far. My neck is, it's very bright. My neck is really sore, but I'm kind of coming to the end of it, and I'm just gonna keep pushing on, possibly until it's dark. So I've gotten to the point where I need to figure out what to do about the taps, and I think I have a solution involving the hacksaw and a hose. So I feel like if I take a piece of garden hose and then chop it to the correct length and then cut it open so it can sort of wrap around the hose that's in the wall, that might give me, if it's the right size, something that will hold the lime off of the pipe and allow the plumbing to move in and out inside the wall. Only one way to find out. Let's go see if this might work. But first, let's say hello to this little guy. What are you looking at, Mikey? He looks like he's hunting for something. Hello. Hello. What you doing? Just enjoying the evening. Yeah, it's a lovely, lovely night. And I am a bit bummed to be stuck inside today, but I've got lots of plans out on the land tomorrow if I can get this shower done. So let's get the hose in there and see if this is gonna work. So I think this might work. I've got these 2 pieces of hose. One's already in there, obviously, and the other one is going in now. So I'll just clip it around the current pipe and then push it in. And that just gives me something to lime around without the lime sticking to the pipe and making it so it can't move in and out of the wall. Will it work? I guess time will tell, but I feel confident it will. So the sun is going down, and frustratingly, I don't have enough lime mix again. So I need to go out and make one more batch, hopefully, to be able to finish this off once and for all. And I'm just gonna put the camera away and power on because I wanna get this done tonight, and I wanna have something to show at the end of the video. I wanna have a finished shower for you guys, and it just means I'm gonna have to put my head down and get to work. So once again, this is where I'm at, and I'm just gonna get on with work, and you'll see me soon when I'm ready to show you, hopefully, the finished product. Well, it's 10 p.m. and I'm mostly done what I wanted to get done. Actually, that's a lie. I was hoping to put some tiles going all the way down this part to separate the 2 sections, but that's gonna have to wait until tomorrow morning because I'm absolutely exhausted. So here's where I'm at. The shower head is back on. I really hope it works because it does seem like there is a little bit of a space down here just because of how I did the taps. Maybe they didn't move up enough. I don't know. So I'm going to have to test this all out tomorrow and hope for the best. So I'll keep you posted. And then over here, I've done a little ridge where I'm going to insert the tiles tomorrow morning. And the last bit of work I need to do, which I feel like could be satisfying to watch, is a little bit of sponging to get everything smooth. But as you can see with the rest of the shower, it's all pretty smooth. There's kind of some weird lines, some different colors. I don't know really what's going on. I've mostly washed off the tiles at the top. They need a little bit more scrubbing. I need to sponge that bit. That just needs to dry a little bit more, but I'm really anxious to kind of just, I don't know, finish up and then go to bed. So this is the last little bit, and you can see that the sponge is leaving sort of a, I don't know, a stippled kind of look, a rough finish, and it's basically just bringing the sand to the top as it smooths things out, and that's gonna probably make the shower impossible to clean. but it's going to make it really, really good for the Tadillac to stick onto. And I've mentioned Tadillac before. It's a Moroccan technique for waterproofing using lime, marble dust, and a stone and some soap. And I've done a little bit of it, but doing the shower is going to be incredibly ambitious. So what I'm going to do, I think, is make a sink, probably out of concrete somehow, using some sort of a wire frame or something, and then doing that. And then I'll Tadillac onto the concrete. I'll probably lime onto the concrete and then Tadillac onto that. And that's going to be a way of practicing, because doing the shower, it's an enormous surface, is going to be a big challenge. I might end up with a couple friends in here, and we might all end up doing it together in here in very tight, confined space. I don't know. I'm not sure how it's going to work exactly, but one reason I divided the top and the bottom is because I didn't want to have to Tadillac quite as much, because it's very labor intensive. So anyway, I'm completely exhausted. I have a little bit more sponging to do. I was hoping to finish it all off before calling it quits on the video, but I'm too tired, and I think I just need to finish filming and then put the camera away, get it done, and then go to sleep. So it's been a very long day, but honestly, I am very, very pleased with how this looks. I just love it, and I think it's been worth all the effort. So here we have the shower in its finished form. It's going to dry to be the same color as the top, and then eventually I'll, as I said, Tadillac it, possibly in some maybe light color. I don't know if something to match the tiles, maybe a light blue. I haven't decided. And then my next step is to stick the tiles on, do the other side, find something to use as a bathroom counter, figure out the shelving, and then figure out a sink. So there's still lots to do, but so far so good, and this has been the most challenging part, and it's almost done. So in the next video, we'll see if the shower actually does work, and we'll finish off this side, and hopefully I can find a bit of wood and finish that off as well. So thanks for sticking with me to the end of the video. It's been a long one, but I think it's been a good one, and as I mentioned, I'm so happy with these results, and it's encouraging for future projects. I really have enjoyed the process of plastering. Even though it takes a lot of time, I think the finish is really good, and I feel very proud of myself for what I've done. It's basically the vision that I had when I first had the idea for the shower, and yeah, it's coming along, and hopefully I'll finish this whole thing by the next video, and I'll have some pretty cool things to share with the rest of the bathroom as well. So I'm tired, it's been a long day, and I'm gonna say goodbye. So thanks for watching the video as always, and I'll see you in the next one.